the last session of day 4. Now, in this session, Lakshmi is a research expert from University of Tarapacá, Chile, is going to present her views in this session. I'm going to briefly introduce her now before handing over the mic to her. She is working as research expert in University of Tarapacá, Chile. Completed her PhD from Bangalore University in 2019. So I can say that she is the youngest of the presenter for this FDP. So I welcome the youngest researcher to this FDP, Saptagiri College of Engineering and Department of Maths and Mechanical Engineering. I welcome her. She has published 5 papers, all in the specialties, all in international journals. See, one is physics of fluids. People, the researchers dream to have a paper in physics of fluids. She has achieved in even I could not able to do this so far. So she has achieved this in at her young age only. So I congratulate her for this. She has presented papers in more than 15 conferences, workshops, national and international level. She has won Best Paper Award in IAMS in 2017. She has awarded state level scholarship in 2015-16. With this, I hand over the session to Lakshmi. Lakshmi, continue, please.
I see. Very good afternoon, everyone. And I'd like to thank Saptagiri Institute, Shripad Markandeya sir, and FTP program organizers for giving me this opportunity to present my paper here, present my work here. And thanks for the nice introduction, sir. So I shall start my presentation now. The problem entitles Natural Convection of Water Aluminum Alloy Nanoliquids Confined in Low Porosity Cylindrical Annuli. The schematic representation of the present problem is given in figure 1. It contains 3 different types of cylindrical porous annuli where the inner cylinder is hot compared to the outer cylinder. And then the inner and outer radial walls of the cylinder is subjected to uniform heat and mass influx and outfluxes respectively. The strength of heat and mass flux giving to the system is such that the fluid particles near the inner wall of the cylinder has the energy to move only till certain distance. And then after reaching certain distance from the inner wall, the fluid particles loses its energy and it drops down so that the convection cell will be formed. And then similar phenomenon will happen at the outer wall of the cylinder, but it is in the opposite direction because the outflux is applied at the outer wall of the cylinder. This flow pattern in the cylindrical annulus allows this system. Hello.
You are not sharing the PPT, I believe.
Okay, sir.
You just that present now, go to present now. Yeah. Whatever you did earlier, do that. Huh?
Yeah.
Present now, a window.
Click on present now.
Is this
yeah, all right.
Visible, sir?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. So I will start with the schematic representation again. So the present work contains 3 different types of cylindrical porous annuli, namely shallow, square and tall porous annuli, where the inner cylinder is hot compared to the outer cylinder. And the flow pattern considered in the system is explained in the figure 2. That is, since the inner cylinder is hot, the fluid particles near the inner cylindrical wall has more energy, so that it start moving upwards to form a convection cell. And then since The strength of heat and mass flux is giving to the system is such that the fluid particle has the energy only to move certain distance near the inner wall of the cylinder, so that it moves certain distance and drops down. So the one of the convection cell will be formed near the inner wall of the cylinder. This similar phenomenon we can observe at the outer wall of the cylinder, but it is in the opposite direction because the outflux is applying to the system. So that these two convection cell flow pattern allows the system to generate a static core. It is just an imaginary region where the fluid particles are at rest. Mathematically, the heat and mass flux condition is given in equation number 1. So this kind of a flow pattern and this kind of a studies has possible applications in many fields, including thermal insulation systems, geothermal reservoirs, microelectronics, cooling, etc. And then coming to the literature survey, this kind of a flow pattern and this kind of a work is analytically studied extensively in rectangular enclosures, and then few of them is recorded here. And then coming to this cylindrical geometry, there is no work available in literature which was considered a natural convection problem in cylindrical geometry due to horizontal temperature gradient. And then recently, we have published this work in the Chinese Journal of Physics, and this appeared very recently. And the same work I'm going to present now, but it is extended for aluminum alloy nano liquids. So the highlights of the work is the analytical solution is going to present for a natural convection problem due to actually it is a horizontal temperature gradient. Sorry for the mistake. And then it is a natural convection problem due to horizontal temperature gradient in cylindrical annuli. And the nanoliquid saturated porous medium considered in this study is assumed to be made up of water-based liquid, and then aluminum alloy nanoparticles, glass buds, porous material. And then in the aluminum alloy nanoparticles, we considered 5 different shapes of aluminum alloy nanoparticles. The thermophysical properties of nanoliquid saturated porous medium are found from phenomenological laws and mixture theory. The phenomenological laws are used to find out the effective dynamic viscosity and thermal conductivity. Here mu represents the dynamic viscosity and K represents the thermal conductivity. And then N represents the shape factor, and it has a different value for different shapes, and it is given in this slide. The remaining thermophysical properties are found from the phenomenological laws. Here rho naught represents the density, C represents the specific heat capacity. Beta 1 and beta 2 are the thermal expansion coefficient, and this analogous concentration expansion coefficient is beta 2. Here phi and alpha represents the porosity and volume fraction. It is given in equation number. The definition of porosity and the volume fraction is given in equation number 5. So moving on to the mathematical formulation, the equations governing the problem are the conservation of mass, linear momentum, energy, and nanoparticle concentration, which are modeled for nanoliquid saturated porous medium using a modified Buongiorno-Darcy model. And the choice of this modified Buongiorno model in this study is because the modified Buongiorno model is used to model the governing equations for nanoliquid, for nanoliquid, and then from that modified Buongiorno-Darcy model, we can obtain the results of KVL single phase model results as a limiting case, because the nanoliquid can be modeled using KVL single phase model and Buongiorno two phase model, but the difference between the two models, KVL single phase and the Buongiorno two phase model, is that In the Buongiorno two-phase model, we are going to include two slip mechanisms. These are important in the heat transport study, that is Brownian diffusion and then thermovoresis coefficient, that is given in equation number 9. Here dP represents the Brownian diffusion coefficient, and then dt represents the thermophoresis diffusion coefficient. So these are important slip mechanisms which are included in the modified Buongiorno model, so that on neglecting these two effects in the present study, we can obtain the results of KVL model in the later stage. So for that reason, we have used the modified Buongiorno model to model the governing equations for nanoliquid, and Darcy model used for porous medium. So on non-dimensionalizing the dimensional quantities as given in equation number 10, the method used for non-dimensionalization here is the order of magnitude analysis, which is in order to do this, we referred the paper from the Bejan paper, which is showing in the slide in the slide. So we have used the order of magnitude analysis. The reason is because when the convection cell is forming, that creates a thin boundary layer region in the inner and outer walls of the annulus. So that it is very important to give a special interest to find out the flow velocity, temperature, and concentration in that boundary layer region. In that boundary layer region, so in order to study the flow velocity, temperature, and concentration in the boundary layer region, it is required to modify or scale the dimensional quantities in that boundary layer thickness, so that we can do that using the order of magnitude analysis. So using that method, the non-dimensional quantities are given in equation number 10. So using this non-dimensional quantities, the non-dimensional form of governing equations obtained is given in equation number 11 to 14. And here delta represents the curvature parameter in the equation number 11. So the use of this curvature parameter is that on taking the zero value for this curvature parameter delta, we can have a results of rectangular enclosure as a limiting case, because we know that in the difference between the cylindrical enclosure and the rectangular enclosure is the curvature effect. So that on neglecting this curvature effect in the present study, we can obtain the results of rectangular enclosure as a limiting case. So in order to have a rectangular enclosure results, we keep this curvature parameter value in all the equations. So yeah, here R2 represents the thermal concentration Rayleigh number, Na is the modified diffusivity ratio, and then Le is the Lewis number. So similar on non-dimensional form of heat and mass flux conditions are given in equation number 16 and 17. The non-dimensional form of governing equations are solved analytically using Oseen linearization technique. The Oseen linearization transformation technique is a simple technique used for isothermal boundary condition, and it is a very simple technique, and it is suggested by Weber. And it assumes the following properties, which is listed here. That is Z-independent constant boundary layer thickness, and then fixed core region, linearly stratified core region, and the last property it assumes is linearly increasing temperature and concentration along the vertical walls. These four properties of Oseen linearization technique gives the temperature. It allows the allows us to choose the temperature and concentration equation is in the form of equation number 18. Here theta r and phi r represents the temperature and concentration profiles. Theta naught and phi naught are the ambient are the temperatures which are found at the core region. Core region in the sense at the static core region. Here A and B represents the temperature and concentration gradients. And also, I have already mentioned at the static core, the fluid particles is at rest. Since the fluid particles is at rest, the temperature and concentration profile values will be 0 at the static core. And here, the limit r tends to infinity represents the value of a radial coordinate at which the radial coordinate value meets the static core. So this Osen linearization equations suggest the following non-dimensional form of an equation, which is given in equation number 20 to 22. The use of this Osen linearization technique is that here we can observe that the equations 20 to 22 are are only dependent on the radial coordinate value r. It is independent of z. It is independent of z. So that the Osen linearization transformation technique converts the two-dimensional problem into a single-dimensional form, one-dimensional equations. So that it is transforming that, and also the Osen linearization transformation technique reduces the non-linearity in the equations, so that the non-linear form of a governing equations are converted to linear form, and also two-dimensional form is converted to one-dimensional form. So this is the beauty of Osen linearization technique. It's a very simple technique, and it reduces the most complex things of the non-linear study. So on decoupling the equations 20 to 22 and considering only the temperature equation, which is given in equation number 23. So this is a second order modified Bessel's differential equation. So the solution of which is in terms of a modified Bessel functions, which is given in equation number 25. So here the definition of gamma is given in equation number 24. In the gamma squared equation, N1 represents the buoyancy ratio. So as we know, the Bessel functions are difficult to handle mathematically. So that and it is a infinite series expansions. So that we can, in order to have a simple simple mathematical form. We have used the asymptotic expansion of equation number 25. The asymptotic expansion of equation number 25 is given in equation number 26. And also for the computation, we have used only the few terms of equation 26, which is given in equation number 27. So similarly, we have found the expression for a concentration as well as the velocity, which is given in equation number 28 and 29. So after having a solution for temperature, concentration and velocity, we have written the solutions at the inner wall of the cylinder, which is given in equation number 30 to 32. Equation 30 to 32, and then solutions at the outer wall of this cylinder is given in equation number 33 to 35. In the solutions 30 to 35, we can observe here that all the solutions are known, but here A and B are still unknown. Here A and B are appeared in equation number 34 and 35, which represents the temperature and concentration gradients. So in order to find out the equations for this temperature and concentration gradients, we have used the enthalpy condition. So the temperature gradient can be found using the enthalpy condition. Similar analogous condition for a concentration is given in equation number 37. So on solving this equation 36 and 37, we can obtain the expression for temperature and concentration gradients, which is given in equation number 38 and 39. So that after having expressions for A and B and all the solutions will be now completed, so that we can move on to the actual findings of the study, that is the heat transport. The heat transport in the system can be quantified in terms of the Nusselt number. In the present problem, the expression of Nusselt number obtained is given in equation number 41. Here, Rw prime represents the ratio of inner cylinder radius to the height, and then A represents the aspect ratio. Moving on to the results and discussions. Moving on to the results and discussion, in table 1 we have tabulated the thermophysical properties of base liquids, alloy nanoparticle and porous materials. In table 2 and 3 we have tabulated the thermophysical properties of nanoliquid saturated porous medium. And in table 3 we have tabulated the thermal conductivity and diffusivity value of a nanoliquid saturated porous medium for different shapes. These properties are found from phenomenological laws and mixture theory. Figure 3 is the plot of thermal conductivity versus volume fraction, and from the graph it is clear that the thermal conductivity, the effective thermal conductivity of blade-shaped nanoparticle is highest compared to all other shape. The reason behind this finding is that compared to all other shapes, blade-shaped nanoparticles have large surface area, so that the thermal conductivity in that case is more, and also blade-shaped. Now blade shape offers the least friction for a fluid flow. So the thermal conductivity inequalities is given here. The thermal conductivity of a blade shaped nanoparticle is highest compared to platelets, cylinder, bricks, and spherical. And the same pattern we can observe for a Nusselt number. As we know, the thermal conductivity is the key factor for the heat transport in the system. Definitely the heat transport in the system, that is Nusselt number, follows the pattern of thermal conductivity. So that the heat transport in the case of a blade-shaped nanoparticles is maximum, and then and the spherical shape is minimum. Figure 5 is the plot of Nusselt number for different values of volume fraction alpha, and from the figure it is clear that the heat transport in the case of the volume fraction, as the volume fraction increases, the heat transport in the system increases. So that from this we can conclude that heat transport in the addition of dilute concentration of nanoparticles in the system significantly enhances the heat transport in the system. Figure 6 is the plot of Nusselt number for in 3 different types of annuli, that is shallow, square, and tall annuli. From the figure, it is clear that heat transport in the case of a shallow annuli is maximum compared to square and tall annuli. The reason behind this is that the vertical dimension of a convection cell formed in the case of a shallow annulus is small compared to square and tall annulus. Tall annuli, so that a small amount of heat is sufficient to form a convection cell in the case of a shallow annulus compared to square and tall annulus. So that the heat transport is maximum in that case compared to square and tall annuli. Figure 7 is the plot of Nusselt number for various values of inner cylinder radius, and from the graph it is clear that the value of inner solid cylinder radius has adverse effect on heat transport. So figure 8 is the plot of Nusselt number for various values of buoyancy ratio N1, and from the graph it is clear that as the buoyancy ratio increases, the heat transport in the system increases. So it also from the graph it is clear that the heat transport in the case of a heat and mass driven convection is maximum compared to purely heat driven convection. So heat and mass driven convection in this sense, nanoliquid saturated porous medium, and then purely heat driven convection represents the case of a base liquid saturated porous medium in the absence of nanoparticles. So and concluding, this work is a benchmark problem for a natural convection problem in cylindrical geometries. Though this problem has limitations in the flow pattern, this problem is a benchmark problem because there is no analytical work which were considered natural convection problem in cylindrical geometry. So this is the first work, and then this will be a benchmark problem for these studies. The other conclusions are as follows. The heat transport in the case of a nanoliquid saturated porous medium is maximum compared to base liquid saturated porous medium. The thermal conductivity and the Nusselt number is maximum in the case of a blade shaped nanoparticles compared to platelets, cylinders, bricks, and spherical shaped nanoparticles. And the heat transport in the case of a shallow annulus is maximum compared to square and tall annuli. And then inner solid cylinder, inner radius to height ratio has an adverse effect on heat transport. Heat transport in the case of purely heat driven convection is lesser compared to heat and mass driven convection. The results of KVL single phase model can be obtained as a limiting case of the considered modified Buongiorno-Darcy model. Here are the few references. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshmi, for your nice presentation. It was very good.
Thank you,
See,
sir.
yeah, being the young researcher, everybody should follow you. They should also, I feel, all the faculty will follow you. They will make up their mind to go into the research field. So there is a question, I believe, from Mohan. Please, any questions, Mohan?
Yes.
Mohan AE, any questions? He has raised the hand. So I think there is no questions. So that is the last session of the day. I hope, sorry, see, this is the difference between the young scientists and all. See, she has closed sharply at 4:27, just 3 minutes left. She has made use of the entire session. Okay, thank you, Lakshmi, for your nice lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So all the participants, so today the day closes for the day, means session closes for the day. Tomorrow we are going to have a final session. So it starts from 9 a.m. itself. Please note the change because researcher from America is joining us live. So for her it is it will be midnight. Today morning 9 o'clock means midnight for her. So that's why we have scheduled it 1 hour early. So she wants to address you live. That is the reason. Otherwise, we would have put the recorded lecture. So instead of that, she wanted to give a live presentation. For that reason, we have just pre-scheduled it to 9 o'clock. And tomorrow, after 2 sessions, after 2 lectures, see, the first lecture is from 9 to 10. The second lecture will be from 10 to 10:40. Then 10:40 to 11, in between the third lecture, you will be, means there is a chance for you to give the feedback, live feedback. So we are going to record it and we are going to upload it in our YouTube channel. So there is a chance to go for the live, give the live feedback. After that, 11 to 12, there will be the last session. Again, it is an interesting session by Dr. Sridhar SN of Director of School of Engineering of Amity University, Delhi. After that, short and sweet valedictory function will be there. Valedictory session, I don't say function, valedictory session will be there. After that, the FDP closes. So you will be given the link to give the feedback. So once you give the feedback, the certificate will be issued to you, posted to you. So with this, I'll end the session, today's session. I'll end today's function. Thank you. Thank you. We'll stop the session now.